The Boston bombing. When is the last time we had a situation where there was a wanted criminal, and the moment he was arrested, we could go through his diary? That's essentially the situation we had with Tsarnaev. We were going through his Twitter feed, and his Twitter feed was kind of boring and blasé at the same time remarkable.
Eerie. Well, it was eerie because he was pretending that life was going, along normally, but it wasn't.
Social media overall played a significant role in the run-up to Boston, the aftermath, and what happens next, from the way the story was reported to how authorities actually communicated with the populace.
Right, telling them to stay safe and be inside their homes.
And the story, I think, of the actual arrest after all kinds of false starts on different networks was broken by the Boston Police Department on their own Twitter feed. So Facebook very much kind of involved in the Boston story.
And in our world. So we decided to bring in social media expert Chris Dessy this morning to talk about this. I mean, there's good parts and there's bad parts to social media.
Yeah, I mean, really, this is the first time we've had a major terrorist act on our soil being broken via social media, right? And it's a story of outliers. We have some really aggressively horrible things that happen within social media. There's also been some really good things. I think the most, predominant story that people kind of get is on Reddit. They call themselves the Redditors. They were attempting to piece together bits and pieces of the bomb. These are amateurs that are trying to circle individuals that are in the audience and start trying to say, hey, this might be the bombers. That type of speculation so early in the game, in an ongoing police investigation, can become exceptionally dangerous. It can put individuals, innocent individuals, in the line of fire. There are young men that were put on the cover of newspapers because of social media that were saying, listen, I was scared to leave my home. And frankly, you don't blame these boys. They were put on the cover of a major newspaper, and it's all of a sudden because somebody took a photograph, posted it online, and it spread like wildfire.
All right, so that was bad. What's good? What good did social media play in all of this?
A lot of good stuff. So the Boston PD, I think, is the sort of glowing beacon of a phenomenal example of how a major law enforcement organization can leverage social media. And this wasn't out of the blue. I mean, they had 40,000 Twitter followers leading up to the Boston City bombing. So they were communicating and engaging with the Boston community. Now they have like 400,000 followers. But they were able to give appropriate announcements. They were able to communicate to the people on the ground in Boston. And I mean, listen, there were other good things that were happening via social media. People were able to communicate to their loved ones and say, hey, listen, I'm okay. We're seeing post-events where there was a mother-daughter that were both injured during the Boston Marathon, and the family is raising hundreds of thousands of dollars via crowdsourcing tools through social media. So it can be very powerful on a good side, but it can also be exceptionally dangerous on the bad side.
Well, we've seen like some senators, I believe, also tweet some things that were inappropriate after the bombing. Suspect was caught.
What do we have?
Well, I don't even want to say what he said, but he said...
Who was it?
It was, I'll tell you, New York State Senator Greg Ball. Do we have his tweet? We're going to obviously not put up the entire thing.
Leave out the bad
But
word.
he called the suspect blank in custody, who wouldn't use torture on this punk to save our lives. So there's the tweet. It was not a nice word to use.
Okay, I'm going to say the word because it's not it's bad. Scumbag, I think is what he said.
Right.
Who's following State Senator Greg Ball on Twitter?
Now we are.
Well, a lot more people are now, right? And I think, listen, and I've said this before, social media tends to be people's internal dialogue. And as a state senator, he certainly should have had much more ability to curate his own content, be aware that people are saying he is a person, a public figure, and whatever he's going to be said is going to get picked up.
Well, I think he would have learned from Congressman Weiner,
And let's talk about Congressman Weiner. He's tweeting again. He has a new account. He's out there tweeting. I think we have a picture of... This is a benign picture, buddy.
Right.
He's saying basically he wants to go back on Twitter to kind of lead discussions.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, that's the best case scenario, and that should be the manner in which he should have been doing it from the get-go, is to engage with his constituents, to have a conversation around whatever it is that he's doing in his career, etc. But of course, it all went wonky because people aren't curating. I mean, listen,
You said that a couple times, curating. What do you mean by that?
To be able to have an understanding as to what content's going out, because it's not just a text message, that it's going to be seen by the entire world. We work with clients. Leukemia and Lymphoma Society on Monday was supposed to have an announcement on the New York Times. Some days they're curing cancer, big announcement, because we have had a conversation with them about processes. When I get an email from Lisa Stockman, the CMO of Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we have a process. We say, listen, this story can't break right now. There's the Boston Marathon bombing. We need to address that. So we curate the content, we have a conversation internally, and then we make a statement on Facebook. Because from the flip side, people are very hypersensitive to content that's being posted that's not appropriate in line with the bombings. If they're saying, hey, look at me, this is going on.
That was not the day to do it.
Not the day to do it at all.
Chris Dessy, social media expert. Name of your firm, please.
Silverback Social.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right.